Speaker.
The Honourable Paul Goldsmith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
5-minute call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to congratulate you on your appointment and very much look forward to a successful and well-managed 3 years in the House, partly under your guidance. I was very pleased to be re-elected on the strength of a very strong National Party result at the election, in fact a historic result in terms of a third time with such a high level of widespread public support. And that support was particularly strong in my home electorate of Epsom, and indeed I remain committed in my second term here in Parliament to be a strong voice for the people of Epsom within the national government and to work alongside my colleague David Seymour from the ACT Party who have continued to support the national government so successfully over these past 6 years. Mr. Speaker, last week was a Diwali and I had the pleasure of speaking at an event over the weekend for the Auckland Harbourside Rotary Club to a very large crowd. In fact, they managed to get 560 odd people to pay $100 to go along to a dinner on Labour weekend Saturday night. And it's a time of reflection and celebration, Diwali, and it made me think that we do have indeed much to be thankful about in New Zealand. We obviously live in a wonderful physical environment which we all share and treasure. I'm blessed to live in a beautiful part of Auckland which is, I think, one of the most magnificent cities in the world, and we all celebrate that. We also should be thankful for the peacefulness of our land, and when we look around the world, sadly, Mr. Speaker, that is not the typical state of affairs. And indeed, New Zealand, I think, can take a great deal of pride from the fact that it is a highly diverse, multicultural society, and particularly in Auckland and in Epsom, where I come from, very multicultural, and yet a successful multicultural society. And indeed, again, that is sadly a very rare thing indeed in this world. And it was, to me, epitomised by the function that I went to at Diwali. The Auckland Harbourside Rotary Club was based with a third Pākehā, a third Indian and a third Chinese from the start. And all those three strands of the Auckland population all worked together, all looking beyond themselves, deeply involved in the community, raising funds. It was a hospice that they were raising funds for on that evening, and all working together in developing a cohesive society in New Zealand and in Auckland, and I think that's something we should take great pleasure from. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I do think we have a lot to be pleased about the strength of our economy, and I think this government can take some credit for that. Of course, it's primarily due to the hard work of New Zealanders in all their many industries and businesses that they have around the country. And when we turn to what governments can and can't do, of course the most important way that government can contribute to the economy is fundamentally to provide a strong, stable, predictable and fiscally sustainable environment in which New Zealand businesses can go about their business and have a high level of confidence, business confidence and also consumer confidence. And when you have that confidence over an extended period, such as we've had these past 6 years, that confidence leads to people to invest. You only invest when you have confidence, and when you invest, whether it's in employing more people or taking on more staff or paying for plant and machinery, then that is how you get fundamental growth in this economy. And so when you've got a period of stability and predictability leading to confidence, leading to investment and leading to growth and jobs for an extended period, the country does well. And that's what we've seen for the last 6 years, and it's a great pleasure to be given the opportunity to have the Commerce and Consumer Affairs portfolio, which has plays such an important part in providing that stable and predictable environment through good legislation and regulation around financial markets, around the way that companies operate, and around our IP systems and our competition law and consumer laws. All these areas are fundamental to providing that strong, stable and predictable environment which is so important to leading to investment, growth and jobs. And on that basis, Mr Speaker, I'm very much looking forward to the next 3 years.